are just now tuning in, I wouldn't blame you for not knowing about it. It happened yesterday, but it's getting very little coverage because the establishment tried to suppress it. Yesterday afternoon, LeBron James' son, Bronny, set in the future to be a #1 NBA draft pick, practicing at USC, suffered cardiac arrest. That means his heart turned off, and he had to be resuscitated and taken to the hospital. And they're busy telling us how he's just fine right now. Just like everybody else is just fine. Now, Ernest Ramirez, early on, he and his son believed the lies, and that's not their fault. They were lied to, and said, protect yourself, protect others. This shot makes it where you can't spread it, you can't get it. Do the right thing, go take it. And he and his son went and took it. I know it's hard for him to relive it all the time, valiantly going around the country and in major documentary films and warning now tens of millions. So Ernest Ramirez's son, Jr., we know, is looking down from heaven and very proud of his father. And Ernest's death has not been in vain, Ernest Jr., because his father isn't doing what a bunch of other fathers I know of are doing. And I have a whole stack of it. When their daughter, their son dies or has a heart attack, they keep their mouth shut. Despite all the actuaries, insurance company, and government documents, I'm going to show you while he's talking, if you're a TV viewer, where they knew this. And I showed this to you last hour. New viewers, I'm going to show it to you again. This is the FDA and CDC documents. You can go to their own websites and read it, where they predicted in October of 2000, 3 months before the shots rolled out, heart attacks, myocarditis, blood clots, and strokes. Show it to you again. This is the CDC recently saying, okay, our studies show the shot does cause heart attacks, myocarditis, blood clots, and strokes. But we can put on screen the FDA document where in October they warned that that indeed was the case of 2020. We'll put that on screen, please. Everyone knew what was coming at the FDA, and they covered that up. Now they call it rare and admit, oh, it's rare. No, it's not rare. Here's the article. FDA actually releases list of COVID vaccine side effects, including myocarditis, autoimmune disease, and death. We didn't even learn about it for months after they did it. We have the documents all right there. There it is on screen. I want to just set the record straight. And here's Edward Dowd, the big statistician, the top guy that got the statisticians on board to research it. The government's own numbers in the UK, 522% increase in blood clots, and even more in heart attacks, myocarditis, particularly in young males. So, Ernest Ramirez, we really appreciate joining us on his lunch hour. I know it's hard to look at. We'll put pictures of his son on screen and pictures of him at his memorial service. This will save lives. Ernest, thank you. I want you to later recap what happened to you and your son and where you've gone from there. But first, God bless you for having the courage to still continue to do this. I know it's hard. I have children as traumatized and even see what happened to your son just through the empathy I have. I know that's nothing compared to what you've gone through. But hopefully we can save some lives here today. And hopefully LeBron James will be like you and come out and warn people, because we know he was bullied into this. We know he didn't want to take it at first. He said that in the news, but he went ahead and bought the BS and did it. He should be really pissed. And he should know his son's not out of the woods yet, but he should really care about other young people. Ernest Ramirez.
How you doing, sir? Thank you again. What are we supposed to be doing now? I'm running out of options. These people, I'm still getting messages and phone calls from across the world. Why? I know they're seeing it there. Everyone here in the U.S. knows what's going on. Why don't you use your own head? Think about it. This could have been prevented. I've been screaming for 2 years. And, naturally, if somebody would have even brought it up before we got vaccinated, I would have thought of it over and over before I even done it. It's not worth it. I don't know what else to do. I mean, give me some ideas, Alex. I'm traveling as much as I can, but I would love to keep that trailer rolling across the U.S. 24/7. But, financially, it's impossible.
Well, people should support what you're doing. Website, juniorsguardianvoice.com, and on Twitter, RGV Runner 01, or just Google Ernest Ramirez Sr. So pulling back from this, I know that Jamie Foxx approached Dr. Peter McCullough. They met. He wasn't officially a patient, but he doesn't want to say what he said. But he said, for the interest of the public, I will say he was skeptical about the shot and was concerned. Well, we heard that in the news, but Jamie Foxx went ahead and took one shot and got sick, got pissed off, took another, almost killed him. Well, where's Jamie Foxx coming out warning people? Because the big pharma, I guarantee you, reaches out and says, don't do that, it will come after you. It's all about the money. So you'll die, you'll get sick, you'll get maimed, you'll let your son's NBA career be ruined. I mean, this is just crazy. We need, what is your, do you want to challenge, what are your words to LeBron James?
Well, the thing is your career more important than your child? I mean, that's the way I look at it. There was nothing more important than my own son. So why would I care what people think or what people are going to tell me? If I had my son here, I would speak out, to protect him and other children. I mean, that's supposed to be our job, Alex, isn't it? To protect our families. Man up, please. I'm sorry. You're someone out there in the public's eye. Do the right thing. Stand up, be a man. This is what happened to my son, and try to help, spread the word, bring awareness. A career is not worth it, not worth our child. So,
Well, I can see from the photos that you guys were very close, and you were a single father, correct? So that's quite a bond.
Yes, sir. I raised him since the day he was born. He was given to me, and that was the best gift I could ever receive from anyone in the world. I've always said children are a gift from God. And like I said, he was my best friend. He was my world. And after they took my son, I no longer have a world. So I don't have anything else to lose. That's why I always said the government will never scare me. They can threaten me. They can do whatever they want. Because if anything were to ever happen to me, I know the good Lord's going to take me home to be with my son and by his side also. So, but I know that's not going to happen for a long time because I'm fighting this fight for my son and mainly for the good Lord. God put me here and I have a purpose. So I have to continue this fight, because I have to honor what I've been asked to do.
Absolutely. Let's talk about, there's a real parallel here because people can see the 500+% increase in blood clots or the 2,000+% increase in heart attacks in young people and the strokes exploding and all the numbers. But it's personal things that people actually get. And so your son liked basketball, and that was where he died. Bronny James didn't die, at least not yet. And we hope he doesn't. But your son was in good shape. Your son was healthy, but it's the same thing. When they first warm up, hit the field, and I've had doctors on that explain that, well, what have doctors explained to you why healthy young people, particularly males, these shots are so deadly? Well, what I'm told is the virus needs high oxygen to replicate, and the vaccine's the same as the virus, the spike protein, and so a healthy young man's heart is just what it's looking for. Yes,
sir. The thing is, too, my son had been in sports since he was 7 years old. That was, like I've said before, that was something we enjoyed doing together. He played baseball from the age of 7 all the way up to high school. And during this COVID, he would run 2 laps around our whole subdivision just to keep in shape. So that's, like I said, it wasn't that he was obese or out of shape. He was dedicated to the sport. And
yeah, we're looking at photos of him. He was in good shape. He was in good shape.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He would eat healthy. He wouldn't drink Cokes. We were always drinking water or iced tea, but mainly water. And he always wanted to stay in shape for the sport he loved so much. And if he wasn't playing baseball, he was out here playing basketball with his friends here in the neighborhood. And that's why they were trying to tell me that, it had to be a pre-existing condition. I said, no. I mean, my son has never really ever been sick other than the sniffles.
Well, let's do this because this is a standard cover-up they do now, and shame on them. I know it's hard for you to talk about, but describe what happened. Go back to that day, what you learned, what they said at the hospital. Describe what happened to your son.
Well, when I arrived at the park, he was in the ambulance, and they were working on him. I mean, I was screaming, yelling for him. Hoping he would get up, knowing that I was there with him. Then when we arrived at the hospital, I was looking through the door and they were still constantly working on him. And like I said before, the doctor just came out like, like nothing. It meant nothing to them. Your son's dead. You can go home now. So, I mean, that's what a child's life is worth to you. Just some dead blank words, to go home, like nothing. It meant nothing to me. They like I said, they try to cover it up also. I mean, I have videos of where the doctor's trying to come up with excuses saying it was a pre-existing condition or he wasn't vaccinated at his hospital or that he had said nobody had passed away that day. But then when she showed him the death certificate and paperwork, he said, "Oh, he was. If that's the same child, he was obese." And he was showed the photo also, and he goes, "Oh, he's a normal 16-year-old kid." I said they kept trying to make excuses because he was vaccinated at the hospital. The doctor was in charge of, and like I said, they were just trying to twist it out of shape. They've offered me $10,000 to $35,000 to change his death certificate. I've had incidents that have happened while I was at the airport getting ready to fly to D.C. where they came up to me. I had a text telling me that Biden had landed here. And I said, "Thank you, but I'm on a flight to D.C." And they actually stopped the plane. You know, of all people, once the doors are closed, they don't open them up. Well, they stopped the plane, reopened the doors, and came to my seat and asked, "Is your name Ernest?" I said, "Yes." They got on the radio and said, "Ernest Ramirez is on the plane." And so they must have been watching my phone, the text message I was receiving. I've had places where me and a lot of other people were at, we were speaking at an event, and they raided the place thinking I was there because I backed out at the last minute. And the police raided the place. And,
Oh, I
they
know.
had
I mean,
never
I
stepped
told people
foot.
this years ago. It's the CIA. They're everywhere, and they work through all their operatives and minions, and they're scared of you, and they're harassing you, and that's what they do. And they're here to carry out the murder. They're here to carry out the murder of the American people. And the Carnegie Endowment runs the country through the Ford Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation. And the Carnegie Endowment is now on the U.S. cabinet, literally prosecuting this war to depopulate us because they don't want the rest of the world to see an open, free country. We are slated for destruction, and your son was a casualty of a chemical, biological, nanotech attack. And that's the reality. We have to face it and understand it. And we're not going to let the CIA and George Soros and his son normalize their billboards saying, "Don't have children, kill your baby, death is good." No. If death's so good, all of you globalists, you need to go first. Show us how you're supposed to do it. Then I'll actually listen to you. No. They want the world for themselves. And your son was a casualty of a modern World War III launched by the UN and the Bill Gates WEF against you and your family and my family.
Yes, sir. Exactly. That's why I said they don't scare me. I've invited them on video. I've had it posted several platforms. I invite them to come to me face to face. Be a man. If you want to do something.
No, they're not men. They creep around in the dark and they shoot up our kids and kill them. They think it's funny.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly. And that's why I don't know. I have to do something else. I have to do more. I feel like what I'm doing is not enough. I need to rattle some more cages. I need to piss them off. I know I'm a thorn right now in their side, but I want to be more. I want them to actually have fear when they see me walk into a room. They should. Because
don't worry.
They should,
don't worry. Don't worry, Ernest Sr. Bill Gates and Fauci are scared now. Don't you worry.
Yeah, but we need to have this all to come to an end before it gets worse because I'm constantly getting messages still in the middle of the night. "Ernest, please, this happened here. My son, my friend's child," and it's overwhelming for me because I wish I was in a position where I could do more and help people. I'm here. I'll do as much as I can for as long as I can, but I wish I was in politics so I can make laws or so I can try to stop and prevent other people from being affected by this poison. Because we don't deserve this. No one does. I mean, I don't wish what happened to me on anyone because it's torture every morning when I wake up. And, it's tiring. It's exhausting, but it's something I know I have to do.
Well, you're saving a lot of children and people. That's why they're pissed at you. Believe me, Ernest, you probably saved hundreds of thousands of lives around the world by coming out. Most people, when they kill somebody's child, they get scared, they roll over. I've talked to famous people, you know, who had their family murdered, and most of them aren't like Robert Kennedy Jr., who's willing to speak up. Most of them are just scared because the FBI threatens them and things. And I'm talking about John Lennon's family, you name it, folks. I'm gonna leave it at that because I've been told this stuff in confidence, but it's bad. But at a certain point, like you've done, you got to realize they're going to get us anyways if we don't beat them. We just got to go after them. We got to expose them, and then just fine. You want to fight? You got one at a certain point. Let's just let's go.
Yes, sir. Exactly. I mean, that's the way we're supposed to be. Be man up, and stand up to me. You can't hurt me any more than you've already done. What more can you do to me for me to go through more pain than I've already been going through on a daily basis? Like I said, I mean, I welcome it. Either do something, come to me, do something, and prove to me that you were right, or just leave us all alone.
But that's not how these vampires operate, Ernest. They come when we're asleep. They come when we're wanting. No, they use your goodness because this was early on. You hear help people. It protects you. It protects others. Take the shot. You're like, hey, let's go do it because you didn't know the social contract was broken. And so now just keep doing what you're doing. Sir. What do you think of Mickey Willis's new film that you're in?
Well, I love all of his stuff. It was wonderful. I mean, it's even me throughout these 2 years, all the stuff I've known or heard, and I've got more out of that film. Even that night, a lot more. Me and Jessica were there, and Jessica also, it was eye-opening, and that's because we're in the fight. But there's so much that the average person, they have their eyes closed, they don't see it. We know what's going on, we were amazed at all the extra that we've seen during that film. And I can't wait for his next release in a month or two.
Absolutely. Well, the reason I get tears in my eyes is not just, that was a great filmmaker. It's not just for the death of your son. You said it earlier.
No, you know what the hardest part was that the national anthem. You don't hear that anymore. And we did stand up and cry to actually hear it being sung, because that's what we lack in this world. We need to respect our country, respect our flag. And people lost that already. We need to get that back again.
Absolutely, brother. But you said the most important thing about 10 minutes ago. They're getting ready to do it again. It's not just about bringing the criminals to justice. It's not just about justice for your son. It's about saving those that haven't been hit yet. And they're trying to literally set up camps and forced injection. And they have this UN World Tree to take over our bodies. I mean, this is outrageous. That's why I get chills. That's why I get tears in my eyes. And part of the tears in my eyes, Ernest, are empathy, because your son was a beautiful person. His soul lives on forever. But I have 4 children. I have a son. I have 3 daughters. I have a 6-year-old daughter. And every time I look at her, I think about what they're doing, how they're targeting her. And it fundamentally makes me mad, because they'd love it to be her too, brother. And it just makes me know we can't let them win. We won't let them win.
No, sir, we can't. We have to fight. Everyone needs to stand up and fight. I mean, don't just expect me here, any of my friends in what section of the area they're in. Each individual in your own local place, stand up, make a difference, yell, scream, make signs, make your own decals. It doesn't have to cover your whole car. Put a bumper sticker or something, make you some shirts, just to keep it out there in the public's eye. We need to have people start questioning things. Well, what's your shirt? They'll come up to me and say, what's that shirt for? Or what's the other one for? And that gives me that opens the door to have the conversation.
By the way, I should have said React 19, because I've got your old bio here, juniorsguardianvoice.com. What's the best website to give out, Ernest?
React 19, you can go to react19.org. Contact any one of us there. Also, my son's website, juniorsguardianvoice.com. And my Life Funder is Justice for Ernesto on Life Funder. My phone's on 24/7. I've given out my personal number to everyone I walk up to. I also ask them, if you know somebody that's injured, or you yourself or your family members, contact me, please. I don't.
And that includes LeBron James. LeBron James has a chance to be a hero here, and so does his son. So react19.org, react19.org.
Yeah, I would really appreciate if he did contact me, just to talk one-on-one. He doesn't have to worry about cameras or videotape, because I'm not that big of a person. I just want to speak to him and, to give him some more information about what's going on, so he can understand and try to realize that keeping quiet doesn't do nothing.
No, by the way, none of his doctors are going to tell him that he needs to purify the blood. And there's a whole bunch of natural compounds to do. They're not going to tell him that stuff keeps growing. I mean, imagine how the doctors are going to try to have to spin to LeBron James why his perfectly healthy young son just had a massive heart attack and had to be resuscitated. I mean.
Well, actually, we have a ticking time bomb inside us. We just don't know when it's going to explode. That's the thing. I mean, I've been asked by these doctors, all the doctors I know, to start treatment, but I don't have time. I need to continue doing this, because who knows if I'll be here tomorrow. So I need to do as much as I can today, because that's something I feel I need to do. I have to fulfill my position that the good Lord put me in. So I know I can go rest with ease on my heart and my mind that I did my best. So we all need to do that. So if he's listening, or if he watches your show, you got my number. Contact Alex, and he'll give you my personal number. You can call me.
Absolutely. Or people can go to, again, the best website for you is react19.org.
Yes, sir. React19.org, or even juniorsguardianvoice.com.
All right, Ernest, we love you. We love Ernest Jr. And he's with us right now. You want to we got 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You want to say something to Ernest Jr.? We know he's here with us right now.
But I love my son. And I love all my family, my vaccine-injured family. I'll always be here for you. And you're more than welcome to contact me 24/7, like I said, Alex. Thank you again. I appreciate you.
Take action now, react19.org. Thank you, Ernest. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
His son murdered by the New World Order, folks. That's who we're up against. You going to bow down to these people and let them eat our guts out while we're alive? Or are you going to face them? Take them on head on. We'll be right back. Stay with us.